Banjo, but they say it was last touched by Banjo as he deflected into the backcourt. Down to 2 on the shot clock. Sullivan, or rather Callahan, will have to fire. He does. Oh, he banks it up, no good. And on the rebound, they say it was last touched by Dartmouth. Well, that desperation shot by Steve Callahan almost banked it home.
Well, here, you know, he's no time left on the clock. And I tell you what, Murphy's Law, if you're Quinnipiac, you would expect that to go in. So now you catch a break, and now it's time for Quinnipiac to capitalize.
Well, you see right there, Dartmouth overplaying the Bobcats as they work the ball around the perimeter. Almost a steal by Patman, but he could not keep it in bounds. Bobcats have the ball. Crafton faking 3. He's got 4 3-point field goals. There's a great pass. Mims to a cutting C.J. Vick.
Good recognition that time. Dartmouth goes zone, and Quinnipiac's going to send Kason Mims to the short corner. Short corner's going to go ahead and give you too many players on one side of the court, and C.J. Vick then, as the 5-man, vacates that open spot. Good set play that time by Quinnipiac.
Dartmouth down 4 now. That's their biggest deficit of the night. There's a 3-pointer put up by McLaren that bounces over the backboard, and Quinnipiac will get it back. You see Joe DeSantis trying to steady the ship, so to speak, for Quinnipiac here this season as they open their first 12 games, winning just 3. But he's being patient with his team, and again, as he says, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And the Bobcats truly have not started as many had expected or predicted, because they are the preseason pick of the NEC, but he's not really concerned with that, so to speak. He's just concerned with how they finish this season, and really the finishing part of their season will begin after this game, because the rest of their season are all conference games.
Well, yeah, and what's happening over there is, you know, as a staff, is you rack your brain a little bit, because you want your team to play good basketball, and they just haven't had the extended minutes that they would like as a staff of good basketball. So I think they're going to go ahead and evaluate what they do based on how many good minutes they play. This team will win its share of basketball games.
Oh, Mims, another great pass in the lane, this time to a cutting Rashawn Banjo. Banjo couldn't finish, but he was fouled. And the foul goes against Michael Liddy, the junior guard from Lake Forest, Illinois. It's only his first.
Well, you got good feed that time by Kason Mims. So now you got the triangle working a little bit.
Yeah.
And you got Monroe and Banjo and Mims playing well, you know. And you talk about the triangle, you know, and everybody's familiar with the Wizard of Oz, but, you know, you had the line and the Tin Man and what was that other character? The Scarecrow.
Yeah.
You know, them guys had no skills until someone said you need to see the Wizard.
But
all of a sudden, the Wizard gave them skills.
Throw a pretty good apple.
Them guys had no skills until they saw the Wizard. And the Wizard said, you're good. Well, you're good. You got to believe you're good. You don't need the Wizard to tell you good. The Santa shit, a Wizard of Oz. You got to get them guys to believe.
Well, we get an offensive foul here on the rebound. It's a loose ball foul, offensive foul on Gardner. That's his 5th foul. Hopefully we get another look at it. He is in disbelief right now. He does not believe he picked up the foul. Here's the rebound by Gardner, and let's see if he does. Yes, you know what he does? He pushed Mims right out of the block to get that rebound. That's a good call, Coach.
Well, I tell you what, you have 3 officials close to it, and I know you got Coach over there pretty disappointed. I like his shirt. He's got the same color I have, but 3 guys aren't going to miss that call, Coach. You know what I mean? And Gardner's disappointed he picks up his 5th, but you saw it. Yeah, you know, you can't do the Bruce Smith swim move to try to sack the quarterback.
It's the 8th team foul on Dartmouth. It was a loose ball foul, not an offensive foul, so Mims will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Well, he's trying to explain to the coach now.
When he gets home and watches the tape, he'll realize it was a foul.
Or he's going to go call both of us and say, you know, you 2 knuckleheads don't know what you're talking about. I got 1,600 on the SATs, and you 2 combined didn't get 1,600. He'd be right on my end. I ain't the smartest cat in the world.
Wait a minute, don't assume I wasn't up there on my SAT.
But that's up to you to tell me you are.
Ago. I don't even know what that is anymore.
Yeah, that's up to you to go ahead and tell the audience how smart you are, and not up to me.
Let's move on. Second by Mims is no good, so he makes 1 of 2. He has just 3 points tonight, but it is a 53-48 Quinnipiac lead. That's their biggest lead of the night.
Now listen to the sneakers. You know, Quinnipiac's got a lead, Glenn, and now when the ball goes in the basket, it's always funner to play defense. So they're squeaking a little bit. Monroe's going to the boards, and I tell you what, winning makes a load of difference.
Sean Banjo traveling with that basketball, so the Bobcats turn it right back over to Dartmouth. with 5:51 remaining.
Another double fault, right, Coach?
Yep. And there's another one, this time by Dartmouth. Vic ahead will drive and dunk.
CJ Vic with the explosive move, and we saw him in past games be able to run the court. He's starting to get some life back in this club, and this is just what the doctor ordered.
Bobcat lead now up to 7. And we'll see if Joe DeSantis tries to extend the Dartmouth offense with some harassing defense and some more full court pressure. It seems Dartmouth does not like to be pressured or the fast-paced type game.
Well, Quinnipiac's a lot more active, too. You know what I mean? When you're active, it makes it harder on the big green.
That time, McLaren missed the shot, and then he pushed Mims from behind, and he picks up the foul. C.J. Vick just a moment ago off the bad inbounds pass, read it beautifully, tips it to himself, and he's off to the races.
Now, back in the day now, they call that a technical foul. He hung a little bit and made it look good, but I think he's paying them back for what Ben Gordon did to Quinnipiac, you know, back in December. But good run there by Quinnipiac, and get a 7-point lead with 5 to go, and this is where you start to go ahead and extend the lead and get yourself ready for conference play. You get on the line, and you go ahead and you make this big 1-and-1, and you go ahead and defend again.
First foul shot by Mims is no good. Mims 1 for 3 tonight from the charity stripe. 5 minutes remaining in this one. 55-48. Quinnipiac on top, right sideline. There's a 3 from Michael Liddy. His first points of the night comes in at just 2 of 9 from beyond the arc, but he's able to hit there.
Well, they just won't go away, will they, Coach?
Nope. This is Vick inside, got the shot blocked, gets it back from his foul. Good second effort by C.J. Vick.
Well, that's a good point you just made, you know, in terms of C.J. going after it again. C.J. Vick kept on battling. And go ahead and look at Coach D's disappointed when Kason missed a free throw. See, DeSantis never missed a free throw, so he doesn't have any patience for guys when they don't knock it in. He knew how important them 2 free throws were. Boy, it's frustrating sitting over on that bench, believe me.
First foul shot by Vick is good.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's come out of nowhere. You look at CJ's numbers there, 12 points, 13 rebounds, and you know, majority of that's been done over the course of the last 20 minutes. So getting touches inside has certainly helped this Quinnipiac team, and it's got CJ in the game, and it's made everybody else better.
And now we get an offensive foul on Steve Callahan as he was spinning right across the midcourt stripe, and he picks up the foul.
Well, you're seeing pieces now, and you're seeing some minutes on why everybody thought this team had a chance to be special. They need to extend those minutes a little more. They need to buy into the program. But this is the best basketball they've played in a while.
And now Quinnipiac picks up an offensive foul. And it's on Rob Monroe, his 3rd, the 6th on Quinnipiac. You see Dave Fozier. He talking a bit with the officials. His team has already been whistled for 10 team fouls in the second half. This is Liddy up top, fires another 3, this time off the back iron. Mims will come ahead. The Bobcats work the shot clock a bit. They have the 6-point lead. It's not a huge lead, but you might want to shorten the game here as we now are at 4 minutes left.
They're pretty good possession here, there, Coach. They go ahead and use the clock like you said, and they're going to end up on the foul line. So that style of play might benefit Quinnipiac more. You talked about it early in the game. Maybe their possessions are too short. I thought that one there, everybody got touches. Yeah. I like that. I like what I saw.
Remember Joe DeSantis last year told me that he likes when his team gets on an offensive set, gets 3 or 4 touches before taking a shot. Sure, he'll take a quick shot once in a while, but he does like when they move the ball around, and that's when they're most effective, moving the defense, because they do shoot very well from the perimeter, although this year they have not shot very well, but they have the potential of being a very good perimeter team.
Well, what they did that possession is they moved with a purpose. You know, and C.J. Vick has certainly been involved today. But Quinnipiac moving with a purpose in their half-court set is a lot more than the ball moving. The players need to move with a purpose, and they certainly have over the course of the last 6 minutes.
Quinnipiac by 7. That matches their biggest advantage. And now Patman working off a screen. Callahan got hit to the floor by a Bobcat. And Banjo will pick up the foul. And for Rashawn, that is only his first foul. Boy, how has he stayed out of the personal foul column with the way this game has gone tonight. You got to give him a lot of credit for that, I guess.
Well, I think what happens is that, you know, when Dartmouth's playing 20 feet away from the basket, they don't put a lot of pressure on Rashawn. Rashawn struggles sometimes. Banjo, when someone puts it on the floor and tries to go by. Dartmouth's not that type of team.
Approaching 3.5 remaining. Quinnipiac on top by 7. This is Mims. Up top for Monroe. 20 on the shot clock. Quinnipiac working the ball around. This is Crafton now for Monroe. Now Mims. He'll fire up the 3.
And there's a purpose to what they're doing, you know, good ball movement, good body movement as well, good life, and there's a lot of bounce to this club. It's got to make you nuts as a coach, though, wondering where has it been, fellas?
And now Patman, the star freshman for Dartmouth, can't hit there. As the ball deflects out, we've got a timeout. 3:05 remaining. The Bobcats have come alive. They lead by 10. 61-51. C.J. Vick leading the way for Quinnipiac.
Eli's offers fine dining. Eli's has excellent service. Come and enjoy their casual atmosphere. Eli's on Whitney chefs prepare their mouth-watering appetizers, soups, salads, sandwiches, and entrees daily from scratch, using only the finest cuts of meat, the freshest seafood, and vegetables. Choose any tempting entree, including Eli's chicken, lobster sauté, pasta barisi, or one of their gourmet pizzas. Hold your next shower, family reunion, or corporate function in Eli on Whitney's newly remodeled banquet facilities. Eli's on Whitney, Whitney Avenue in Hamden.
Tonight's game on Nesson has been brought to you by your local Pepsi bottler. Have you experienced the joy of Pepsi? By WorldTech Travel, the official travel agency of Quinnipiac Athletics. By Eli's on Whitney, where everybody knows your name. By Hudson United Bank, big enough to deliver, small enough to care. By the Jello Distributors Anheuser-Busch, reminding you to drink responsibly. And by Quinnipiac University, preparing tomorrow's leaders today in business, health, communications, education, and law. This copyrighted telecast is a production of Glencoe Sports and is presented by the authority of Quinnipiac University and is solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or retransmission or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and or accounts of this game without the express written consent of Quinnipiac University and Glencoe Sports is strictly prohibited. Here you see our score. The Bobcats with a 10-point lead. It has not been a 10-point game by all means. It has been nip and tuck throughout, off the inbounds with an air ball thrown up. And the Bobcats will have the ball and the 10-point lead. Now we'll see how they play with this lead as this game winds down, Bill.
Well, Dartmouth's a team that's going to have a hard time getting back in the game down 10, Glenn, because their style of play doesn't lend itself to quick shots.
Right.
So you're going to let them do things they're not used to. So certainly advantage goes to Quinnipiac. It's like that poker thing when you see on TV, Texas Hold'em. The odds of Quinnipiac winning this with this hand is about 85%.
This is Mims driving. The shot's blocked away by Arnold. Great defensive play by Calvin Arnold. This is Callahan ahead, and he fakes in a 7-footer.
Well, now the odds dropped about 70%. So, you know, they got a card in the hole that matches. They got 2 sevens.
Approaching 2 minutes remaining. Quinnipiac's lead is 8. Let's see what they do on this possession.
Well, what they want to do maybe is end up at the foul line, and I think the odds are now 60%, and now a couple cards have flopped a little bit.
Back-to-back possessions. The Bobcats have come up empty. That was their previous possession, the block, and the basket by Callahan. And now we'll see if Dartmouth can get another field goal. Patman up top. Oh, he thought about the 3, gets stripped by Monroe. Ahead, he's got Banjo. He will drive and dunk.
Good play by Rob Monroe. And I do really believe, you know, in terms of Monroe and Banjo Mims, I think for the first time all season, Glenn, we saw over the last 7 minutes of the basketball game, those guys working in sync.
There's a three-pointer. That's no good, but the rebound, we get a whistle and a foul on Calvin Arnold, and that should be his fifth. Here's the last defensive play as Patman thought about putting up the three, but look at Monroe stepping right in, taking the ball away, and Banjo finishes.
Well, I tell you what, Banjo's really played big tonight for Quinnipiac, and you know, we've promoted him before the game, and he's lived up to everything that we talked about. So, really good 10 minutes of basketball, not only for Sean Banjo, but for that Quinnipiac basketball team. And, you know, maybe for the first time in a while, you got that team feeling good about themselves and just what they need heading into conference play. Big fella Calvin Arnold fouls out. Now you got a depleted team at Dartmouth without two starters playing, now losing two of their players inside. So their odds have certainly sank a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for them the way they play in a minute and a half to get back into this basketball game.
Vic now with 15 points on the night. After this game, Bobcats will play on Friday in Brooklyn, New York against LIU as they get back into conference play. Second by Vic is also good. And the Bobcats call a timeout. After the LIU game, the Bobcats then will have 3 consecutive home games against Sacred Heart, Monmouth, and Fairleigh Dickinson. And that Monmouth game will be part of a television doubleheader that we'll have on WCTX television for the fans watching in Connecticut. And then in late February, as the season winds down, the Wagner game here at Burcon Court will have as well on WCTX UPN 59 for those in the Connecticut and West Springfield area.
Well, you know, Quinnipiac comes into this basketball game and they come from the doctor's office and the doctor says you got high cholesterol. And they give him some Lipitor. Now the cholesterol's fine. Quinnipiac got the medicine they needed. This was big for their psyche as you get the fans pumped up a little bit. But it's now Quinnipiac belief that, you know what, we can get this done. And it's a good win for the Bobcats, Coach.
Well, a lot of times when teams have high expectations, they play to prove those expectations, and sometimes that could be the problem, and I think that might be, I'm just making an assumption here, but that could be the reason why Quinnipiac has gotten out to the start that they have gotten out to. Rather than worrying about what everybody thinks they're going to do, they just need to play their game, and things should come together, because I believe they've got pretty good talent on this team. They just need to work as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, it's a big difference from being the hunter when they don't expect you to do well, or being the hunted. Quinnipiac has not handled that top spot very well. But you know what? Now they got a little weapon in there, and now they're attacking.
Nice turnaround 5-footer put in by Scott Klingbeil. That's his second field goal of the night. He's got 4 points. A minute remaining in this one.
Well, Dartmouth's not going to foul you here. You're just going to hold the ball, and you'd rather give up time off the clock than you would a shot here. So, you know, up 10, Dartmouth's not going to foul. Basketball game is over.
This is Mims. He'll fire the three. It is no good. He got hit to the floor after the shot. No whistle. 43.6 seconds remaining in this one.
Dartmouth substitution number 21, Michael McLaren.
McLaren comes back in for Dartmouth. Number 34, Trey Blinko, a freshman from Alexandria, Virginia, comes on. Only his 3rd appearance of the season for Dave Hosier's Big Green. Working into the paint was McLaren. He got tripped up, and we get the Quinnipiac foul.
His 4th personal foul.
Quinnipiac's 3 wins this year. 2 have come over Division II teams, and Hattonville and Hilo. And their other victory was over a Division I team.
Harvard, Coach.
Correct.
They played 2 early ones with Harvard. I mean, I don't know why in the schedule in the Ivy League.
Dartmouth, correct. Dartmouth has played Harvard twice. I was talking about the Bobcats and their 3 victories on the season.
Oh, yes, you were.
Yeah.
I'm ADD, so like I said, I have trouble with my attention.
The players of the week in the North Atlantic Conference, Maurice Bailey from Sacred Heart. In fact, it was a clean sweep by the Pioneers. Bailey had 2 stellar back-to-back performances, helping the Pioneers to improve to 3-1 in NEC play as they won 2 league games over Wagner and FDU. And Joey Henley, a freshman rookie of the week in the league, he's taken advantage of increased playing time as of late, and he made a solid contributions in those 2 wins, playing a career-high 32 minutes, scored a career-high 13 points in their victory over Wagner last week. So,
and head coach Dave Bike, I mean, he's a legend.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys that has been in the game for a lot of years, and I'm certainly happy for Dave. Sacred Heart stuck with him through some tough times, and he's got it turned around, and that's a pretty good basketball team.
we talk about Leon Patman, the freshman from Memphis, Tennessee for Dartmouth, the Ivy League Rookie of the Week. In fact, he's been the Rookie of the Week in the league twice so far this young season.
Well, he's a talented freshman, and you know, he's going to watch the rest of the game, and they get into the teeth of the Ivy schedule after this one. So he's got 4 good years ahead of him. He's a bona fide player and a good recruit for Dartmouth College.
Well, that other win for the Bobcats, of course, was over Dartmouth in that tournament in Hilo. And this will be their 2nd win of the year over Dartmouth if the Bobcats do hold on. With 35 and 8/10 second remaining. And we get the foul.
What do you mean if they hold on? Well, explain that to me, Coach. I need some help with that.
Anything can happen.
I guess I could wake up tomorrow and be 6 feet.
No, that's not possible.
I don't think so. I think this one is over, Coach.
You're finished growing.
I was finished growing at 14.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sean Banjo at the line. His first is good. 24 points tonight for Sean Banjo. Banjo with 24. C.J. Vick has 16 for Quinnipiac. 12 for Van Crafton off the bench. All 12 of his points coming from beyond the arc. Great shooting for Banjo. 8 of 12 tonight. The 8 rebounds as well.
He's played a good basketball game, and he kept Quinnipiac in the basketball game in the first half. Glenn with his point production and his work off the boards.
Down to a half-minute remaining. McLaren will fire up a long 3. It's way off. And on the rebound, we get a loose ball foul on Scott Klingbeil. That should be his 4th. 25 seconds left in this one.
Fun time if you're Quinnipiac, tough time if you're Dartmouth. You know, you look at Coach Foucher over there. Without his 2 starters and those guys hurt with injuries, it's going to be a tough road for Dartmouth. But their style of play is going to keep them in a lot of basketball games. It's just what they do in the last 5 minutes of the game will determine their 1-loss record at the end of the season. Another big night from C.J. Vick, and 17 points, 14 rebounds, and they started to get the ball inside to the big fella, and he certainly responded.
Yes, he did. The quick 3 put up and in. Callahan able to hit from long range. 15 for the junior. Now with 15 seconds left, we get another Dartmouth foul. After tonight's game, the Big Green will travel to Colgate on the 19th. That's on Martin Luther King Day. And then we'll go back out of conference again to take on Vermont and Hartford the week of the 21st, believe it or not, and then finish the season in conference play.
So they got some non-conference games to go.
Yeah.
Surprised this late into January that they wouldn't go full-fledged. But in the Ivy League, you know, those games add up because every Friday and Saturday you're going head-to-head with those Jeopardy participants. The dudes are smart.
Second by Monroe is also good. You're a wannabe participant on Jeopardy, aren't you, Coach?
Only sports-related questions.
Yeah. And on the turnover, McLaren, or rather Callahan just simply dribbled the ball out of bounds. Now the Bobcats will just try and wind this one out and go away with the 9-point win, and they'll win their 2 meetings against Dartmouth this season. They win here tonight, 69-60. And Quinnipiac with the win, raising their record to 4-9. They're now 2-2 here at home, and the Big Green dropped to 3-10. The supervising producer of Bobcats basketball is Pete Sumby. Tonight's game has been produced and directed by Jim Dodonna. Technical manager Ralph Riello. Remote facilities provided by CSP Productions. Transmission services provided by New England Satellite Systems. This has been a presentation of Glencoe Sports, all rights reserved. Again, our final. Quinnipiac defeats Dartmouth 69-60. For Bill Mecca, I'm Glenn Conticello. Good night, everybody.
Adrenaline, sweat, excitement.
Showtime. Nothing but net. Wow, what a move on the baseline. He got it.
College basketball on NESN. Stay tuned as NESN hits the hardcore. Saturday at Seton Hall at BC, followed by UNH at Binghamton on NESN. NESN's digging them out and dusting them off each week on Fanatic, reviewing classic Red Sox games from this past Cowboy up season. Experience the excitement of last summer all winter long on Fanatic, Friday night at 9:30.
Bobby Orr called me after I left that last time, and he left a message saying that you win in this town, I mean, you're forever idolized, and that's what kind of gives me chills and kind of makes me excited about playing here. Is just the fairy tale continues.
Difficulty scoring. In fact, they probably score the least number of points of any team in the conference. However, they're going to get easy baskets as a result of very active defense, and you saw that, a scoring opportunity as a result of a deflection and an opportunity for a steal.
Great position inside. Butler trouble finishing. And the ball back over to Rhode Island. Well, Butler here in his sophomore year, still not finding his offensive sea legs and still not avoiding the type of foul trouble that keeps him on the bench for large portions of the game.
Well, when I talked to the Temple coaches before the game, they talked about getting some consistent offensive play out of Keith Butler. And at times last year, when Temple started their role, they were
What you should give your boss for the holiday? I loaned her to Savitsky for the night. Can I get her for the night? Get out. Then it's an all-new still-standing Christmas.
Wasn't that exciting, cutting down our own tree? Especially when that guy starts reaching outside his yard.
And Ring uncovers the ghost of Christmas present past.
Would you like a popcorn popper?
Then Charlie's brother gets a whole new look for the holiday. We need a gay guy. 2.5 Men on an all-new CBS Very Merry Monday. And later, Liv Tyler joins Dave on an all-new Late Show. Tuesday, a Marine reported killed, just called his wife. I'm not dead. NCIS searches for the truth.
He wants us off this case.
All new Navy NCIS. Then attorney Nick Fallon's girlfriend won't commit, and his past wants to come out and play.
I'm going to try to kill him.
The Guardian after Navy NCIS, CBS today.
The Survivor winner and $1 million check.
That's this week on The Early Show.
Good evening, I'm Rob Braun with developing stories. Tonight, U.S. troops have moved Saddam Hussein out of Iraq. A manhunt is underway for the gunman who shot a woman inside this local apartment building. And after the ice and snow that came today, one local school is already delayed. We'll have all the school changes and Tim Hedrick's precision Doppler 12 forecast. And despite Big Will's bad news, his fans are still partying here at Newport on the Levee. We'll go live to the party, talk with Roger Bingham, and bring you Lil live from L.A. next on 12 News Tonight.
With Bob Evans refrigerated potatoes, you get all the taste of homemade without ever peeling a potato. So why start from scratch when you can start with Bob Evans? Potatoes as easy as they are delicious.
Bob Evans down on the farm.
Put the Tri-State's best radar technology on your computer desktop right now. Instant access to live radar where you live. You can even use it as a screensaver. When second counts, you want the Tri-State's best radar technology. Just log on to WKRC.com.